I really hesitate to do videos like this because I know that engagement farming is real, emotion harvesting, whatever you want to call it, it is real. But at the same time, reality, because we live in such a perverted society, reality must constantly be underscored, highlighted, and bolded because people are letting go. People are letting go of reality. And I don't think that's a good thing. So this is kind of a catch-22. I know it's engagement and enragement harvesting, but it really kind of needs to be said. There's a Gold's Gym in Los Angeles, and they're under fire after a staff revoked a woman's membership and escorted her out of the gym with a police escort after she, in the words of some of these reports, bravely confronted a man pretending to be a woman in the women's locker room. I'm going to play this, and we're going to actually hear from that woman. So stay tuned. This is pretty interesting.
How are you?
Did you tell me or not that women like to see?
I'm asking you a fucking question.
Exactly. Get out of the way now. No. Now he knows how to be a man, right? Now he knows how to be a man. Stay out of the women's locker room. We don't want it. He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that shit. And the woman told you. He assaulted me. The girl told already. We already filed reports. No.
That's fine. I want the video.
You can't get rid of me for this. I'm a woman and I have every right to not want a man in the restroom when I'm naked. There are girls naked in there. Look at them walking in there like it's okay. It's not okay.
I understand.
Prior to them escorting her from the gym, here's what she had to say while she was still in the gym.
Gold's Gym. Men. Grown men with big dicks in the women's locker room. And that's why I'm getting kicked out. And I want to make sure the girls know. Everybody saw that man in the fucking locker room. No one's saying shit. And I'm fucking done with it. It's fucking stupid. It's dangerous. Me naked in front of a man without my permission. I'm the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all. I'm terminated for not wanting men in the locker room.
Now, before we listen to her thoughts on this, it is no measure of good mental health to be considered well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. And we got to be honest, profoundly sick societies want you to partake in their profound sickness, or you aren't considered normal. You become the outcast. I'm pretty sure that everybody who's normal, who has a brain that's even halfway functioning as far as logical thinking, understands, and if you have some kind of grasp of how history is and how perverted cultures take a massive nosedive, I'm pretty sure that you would be willing to take a stand. The problem is a lot of people are fearful to take a stand when they are outnumbered by all the people who are profoundly sick. And what do you call that? Isn't it truly a profound sickness when you can't come to grips with reality, when you continue to espouse and promote falsehood, when you try to shame people for acting normally and acting outraged about abnormal and outrageous behavior? Here's what she has to say.
I just had the worst experience ever at the gym, at Gold's Gym, and I think this is probably happening at gyms across America. We're like, trans women are going into the women's locker room and not really caring about how women feel about it. And it's really hurtful, yo. Like, how you gonna say you want to be a woman or that you are a woman, but you don't give a how women feel? Today I was naked in the locker room. I turn around and there's a man there in boy clothes, lip gloss, standing there looking at me. I'm butt naked. So the first thing I think is maybe there's a worker in here. Maybe I missed a sign. I say the word sir to say, sir, what are you doing in here? He goes, don't talk to me. I'm a woman. I have a right to be in here. Immediately, I'm pissed because I'm butt naked. I feel violated. I feel like weird. Like, I don't want to deal with this, right? So the girls are walking in and they're seeing the commotion, and they actually chime in and say, yo, I don't know why he's in here. He's not supposed to be in here. And then I talk to the people that work at Gold's Gym, and they don't really have anything to do. They just like, oh, we can file a report about it, incident report.
Here's what I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why didn't all the women who acknowledged this in private with her just take a public stand and be in her corner when she was getting ejected from the facility? I mean, if there was anything to ever stand up for, it would be for truth and against clear lies. Why wouldn't somebody come alongside her and go, yeah, you know what? I was there too, and I felt uncomfortable as well. This just isn't right. We can't allow this to happen. We can't continue to allow this to happen. I mean, it doesn't even seem like this person is even trying to convince anybody that he's a certain way.
What the is going on? Like, listen, how can you say you're a woman or you want to be a woman and you don't care how women feel? That's nothing more manly than not giving a about how women feel, I'd like to think. And I get it, like, everybody has their own things, and I don't want to say that I know everything about gay rights or trans rights. I'm a lesbian. I've been a lesbian my whole life. I treat people how I want to be treated regardless of whatever their sexual orientation is or whatever they decide. So I'm not transphobic, and I'm not homophobic. I'm not straightphobic. I'm not racist. None of these things. I just believe in treating people how I want to be treated. Why do you guys think it's okay for men to be in the women's restroom? And like, when is the cutoff point? Is it like, oh, you cut off your penis, you can come in here? Why aren't women making the laws? And if you really want to be safe and feel good, why don't we just make trans restrooms? Because it ain't right. The way I feel right now.
Or why don't we just say, you know what? Nature has dictated reality. And because nature has dictated reality, that's what we're going to go with. We're not going to bend. We're not going to bow. We're not going to pacify people. We're not going to coddle them in their ignorance. And we're definitely not going to be promoting falsehoods. So there's no extra bathrooms that we're going to be building. We're just going to stick with what we got because it's been working pretty good for the last, how many centuries?
And don't come into my comments about he gay, he ain't looking at you. I don't give a bro. It's about a feeling, yo. Like, if you never been a little girl who been touched or been through some shit, you won't understand that feeling. And you've never been a little girl.
I don't want to put words into her mouth. I don't know what her experience has been, but it's a possibility that she could have had a really, really bad experience where she was violated in her life. And the last thing she wants to see is a dude in the woman's restroom. And that leads us to this right here, because there are some people online that are speculating that it's possible that the higher-ups in the Gold's Gym franchise may have transitioned kids themselves. And now they're locked in and committed, and they cannot move from this current narrative that they've basically cemented themselves into.
Something that you may not have thought of is that there's a lot of people who can't move on this, because that's the people who've transitioned their own children. So those people are going to be like, the Japanese soldiers who were on Pacific Islands and didn't know the war was over.
Right. They've
got to fight forever. This is another reason why this is the worst social contagion that we'll ever have experienced. A lot of people have done the worst thing that you could do, which is to harm their children irrevocably because of it. Those people will have to believe that they did the right thing for the rest of their lives, for their own sanity and for their own self-respect. So they'll still be fighting. And each one of those people destroys entire organizations and entire friendship groups. Like, I've lost count of the number of times that somebody has said to me of a specific organization that has got turned upside down on this. Oh, the deputy director has a trans child, or, oh, the journalist on that paper who does special investigations has a trans child, or whatever. The entire organization gets paralyzed by that one person. And it may not even be widely known at the organization that they have a trans child, but it will come out. Like, people will have sort of said it quietly, and now you can't talk truth in front of that person, and you can't. Because what you're saying is, you as a parent have done a truly, human rights abuse level of awful thing to your child that cannot be fixed. There are specific individuals who are really actively against women's rights here, and it's not known why they are, but I happen to know through the back channels that it's because they've trans their child. And so those people will do anything for the entire rest of their lives to destroy me and people like me, because people like me are a standing reproach to them. I don't want to be. I'm not talking directly to them. I don't spend my time bitching about them. But the fact is that just simply by saying we will never accept natal males in women's spaces, well, it's their son that we're talking about. And they've told their son that he can get himself sterilised and destroy his sexual function and women will accept him as a woman. And if we don't, there's no way back for them and their child.
Here's the person in the Gold's women's restroom. Let me just say, it is really no measure of good mental health to be considered well-adjusted to a profoundly sick society. And finally, I just want to say, with the fact that women aren't coming alongside of her and backing her in the midst of something that's so blatantly obvious, it kind of reminds me of that quote, in the beginning of a change, the patriot is a scarce man, in this case, scarce woman, and brave and hated and scorned. When her cause succeeds, the timid join her or him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot. The question is, when are people just going to stand for the truth? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. I really appreciate you being here. If you want to support this channel, the best thing you can do is just like this video and share it with others. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next video.